Ain't nobody smooth like me. I don't flash C notes, that's too high key. Keep it all down low, that's who I be. Levitating on the stage when I move my feet.
What's up, guys? Before we start today's episode, we want to hear from today's sponsor, which is Wedgwood Cove. Wedgwood's an 18-hole championship-style golf course located here in South Central Minnesota. They got a full pro shop, they got a heck of a bar with a banquet room, full restaurant, casual side and formal side, simulator downstairs, and then of course we got a nice driving range outside. Head to wedgwoodcove.com to make your reservation, and be sure to tell them that Peej and Mikey sent you. And with that, let's head to today's episode.
Hair flip, caught my eye from the jump. Thigh high socks and the blades don't quit. Good guy, girl, go ahead and fly on what you got.
Now, teeing off at hole number 1, the man with the extended clubs, if you know what I mean. He's ready to hit. He's ready to play. You know him as MikeyPolis. And his trusty sidekick, his Robin to his Batman. The man who hits left-handed, but knows how to use his right as well. Peej!
Welcome back, everybody. We're double digits again of the Public Course Golf Podcast. We appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in each week. If this is the first time you've watched one of our episodes, we'd like to say welcome to the podcast. We got a full recap today. We didn't even put on our notes. We played in the best ball this weekend.
Oh, yeah,
so we didn't put that on our notes.
Yeah, well, we played and we actually played well.
I'd say we played and we conquered. We didn't win. There's 20 or 22 teams, but from what I understand is we came in third, essentially.
Okay.
It's from scores that I heard.
Too bad not a prize for that.
Right? Even, like, they got tumblers. We should have got, like, shot glasses.
Shot glasses are like just a styrofoam cup.
I'd take a styro cup with one course cocktail in it.
And we have like an etching of our name in it.
Just they get it done with a toothpick.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine with me.
Take it. It's a prize.
So we had a heck of a heck of a tournament this weekend. I would say that was probably top 2 or 3 weather days for golf, like that you could possibly have.
So this tournament we're a part of, it's in Albert Lee here at Wedgwood, our sponsor, and for the Albert Lee Wrestling, and but even so, an excuse to play golf, because you're right, 70 degrees, 72.
With zero humidity
and zero wind.
Zero wind.
Well,
zero
a
humidity.
Slight little breeze to help you like cool down, but it was never hot.
No. It was not hot. It was never chilly.
No.
You had not enough wind to affect any shot.
No.
And there was not even a singular like fart of a cloud in the sky. There was nothing.
Only fart that came out of a cloud was out of
Juice Bottom.
Right over here.
He had a couple of big dogs that I'm pretty sure you'll see in one of the episodes.
One of our slang terms is Juice Bottom. It's where you fart as you putt and it goes in. And then there's you get vitamin
D from the sun. You got that D.
Yeah, sunny D.
You get that sunny D. I'm pretty sure Kluko got one of your farts on like 14, that par 3, when it sounded like T-Rexy. I think he got that one on camera, actually.
Well, it's outside. The air will take it.
The gentle breeze will carry it away.
And my wife knows I used to never pass gas around her when I was dating her, because I didn't know if she'd like it or not. And my gut would hurt every night. And then finally, 6 months into it,
let her buck.
I let it go, and she laughed, and I knew it was love at first sight.
Right there.
Love at first smell.
When you when you get that laugh, and that's essentially like a go ahead and like clearance for like, all right.
And I bet if you ask her what's her one regret in life, she'd say laughing.
And it's funny because typically I feel like, on really any first date, guy or girl, I feel like there's hesitation.
We go from playing golf to now talking dating advice.
We cover everything here in the public course. That's what you do when you're on a public golf course. You kind of talk about everything, right?
You do end up, true.
But I feel like, especially when you're first dating, like guys, like you're not going to let bombs drop. But girl, like I feel like that's like the girl, like they'll hold it for sure for a while. And then probably once you let it go a handful of times, then they'll start dropping.
My favorite song, Disney song, is "Let It Go."
Just let it go.
Yeah,
just let her fly.
Let her fly. Let it be. I believe I can fly. Yeah, just let it go. He's kind of a bad guy though. Yeah. Good song, bad guy.
Good song. Yeah, terrible guy.
Yeah.
But so anyways, we had a great tournament this weekend.
72 degrees, sunny.
Shot 9 under, and that's with leaving on the hole that you T-Rex farted. We bogeyed. We lost a stroke.
It wasn't because of my fart, though.
No, it wasn't.
It was a bad chip from where we were at. None of us got it close enough.
No, and it was a bad chip. It left us with like a 20-foot putt for par, and that's a hard thing to leave. And even on a best ball, when you have
4 guys can try it.
Right. That's a long putt.
Yeah.
Early in the round, I feel like we left a couple long ones, and Corey and his baby putter that was like this big. Still, he hit a couple of super long putts.
He stole it from a kid somewhere.
I think he did. I think he had to have.
Yeah.
Because it was seriously, it's like.
I think it had initials in it.
Like, I think it was
somebody
like
had initials. Yeah, and then someone.
Little Timmy.
Yeah, I know. And he's out there putting with it. That little kid is somewhere.
Now, little Timmy's putting with like a tree branch because he doesn't have a golf club.
Think about.
That's terrifying.
That's kind of. We need one of that. I need that sad music when you can sponsor a kid.
Was it Sarah McLaughlin or McLaughlin? Is that the one with the pets?
The pets, yeah.
That sad commercial. Yeah, that's that one.
With him without a putter, you can have that in the back. Yeah. So if you find a kid's putter, Timmy needs one. Timmy needs one
because his was stolen
by a guy we know named Corey who played with it and got us a nice spot.
He played it. He had a heck of a round, so that's okay.
So we're in favor of stealing little kids' putters.
So we had a great weekend. We got the second half of today's episode. We're going to do a little recap of the PGA, which was this weekend. There's a couple of really big stories out of that. Mm-hmm. And one of them that is, I would say, is kind of closely related to this podcast in the public course golf world. So we're going to cover that, and then, of course, our top 5 slang terms of the week. Today we got one that we made up.
Yep.
And then we have 4 that we had found online.
That we kind of liked, and so there's some if we had the right audience, which I think we do. There's some ones that can be kind of push the envelope as far as using someone's celebrity name to describe something, but it kind of is the aspects of them that are kind of easy to make fun of,
right?
And apply it to golf. So we might get into that eventually, but it's not to be offensive, but it's pretty funny.
There's some good. We have one.
Yeah, one.
Kind of 2.
Yeah, that are kind of
we have 1.5. One could be that one.
Yeah,
half could be that one.
Yeah, you'll find out what we say when we say half.
So we'll get into with that. Let's just jump right into this week's top 5 of slang terms. So number 1 is one that we made up, and this is strictly based on a shot that Peej had last year. We've talked about it multiple times on the podcast, the MikeyPolis channel. We've covered it in the YouTube world. But number 1 this week is egret. PJ, tell the people about an egret.
Well, the egret is the public course golf state bird.
Mm-hmm. It's the bird of this podcast. If anybody out there can get us either a statue, a 3D printed, some sort of model of an egret that we can set on, like we can put on our set, I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, because egrets are big birds. So for the slang term though, it's when you get 15 extra yards of distance, but it happens after you hit the egret. So we were out in Wedgwood. You've heard this story before, but there was a flock.
Yeah, I would say it's a flock. There was
like 5 or
6 of them.
And a shepherd has got to protect his flock.
And I hit one at one, and it was about where my drive would go, and the rest.
Okay, so I'm gonna interrupt though. Because we didn't intentionally hit at the egret.
Yeah, well, no,
the shot was a bit of a slice.
Yeah, we didn't have our egret hunting license. We
didn't have our tags. We already maxed out on egrets for the season.
We did. Yeah,
we were not.
We were with all too much egrets. We hadn't. Sorry.
So we were not actively egret hunting. It was a bit of a slice of a shot that actually ended up pretty good. But all right, finish your story.
It bounced off one of the egrets, stunned him like you tasered him. He was still shaking, and then the ball. We thought, well, the ball's got to be around where this bird is, and he didn't move. And then we all of a sudden noticed my ball 15, 20 yards up in the middle of the fairway.
It bounced off the egret into the fairway, and the egret, as a full disclaimer, was okay.
Yeah.
He ended up, after his quick little stun, he flew away.
We took him in the blue tent for the concussion protocol. He passed all the tests.
Pulled the tent over.
Yep.
We did the test, did
Yep.
the eye test. He was all right. He flew away just fine.
He'll be ready to go for in the next lineup the next week.
So he'll be back. I'm sure he was back.
Yeah,
they
I'm
were
sure
flying over our heads the whole time during that tournament.
Yeah, they were. So that's called the egret. So if you hit something on the course that's unexpected, let's say that.
Yeah.
It's unexpected, and your ball is better off because of it. You call that the egret.
That's the egret.
Yep.
And I really like that. Was a good way to sum that
Yeah.
up. I like that.
I mean, yeah, we can just, there's things that you can hit in the course. You can hit like a boulder or something, or like I don't know, part of
a tree.
Yeah.
I feel like that happens a lot.
Yeah, a tree.
You hit a slice of a shot or a hook of a shot, and all of a sudden you get up to your ball and you're like, well, it's actually in the fairway.
You've seen it where like it bounces off the cart path and comes back.
Yeah.
Anything that kind of bounces off something and then gets you more yardage, and you're better off because of it. Call that the egret.
That's the egret.
Copyright Peej.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the egret.
And
right
MikeyPolis, but
so we'll say it's copyright public course golf podcast.
yeah. So enjoy the egrets out there. All of you who get your eagles, maybe you got an egret before you got your eagle.
I bet there's a lot of people that had egrets before eagles or albatrosses.
Exactly. Or even for a birdie.
You know what's not going to happen?
Why is it all birds?
Right? Like, I don't know if it's...
Why is that? Because it flies?
Let's head to Google.
Yeah.
We're going to do another little sidebar.
Why
We're
are
gonna
all
say,
the words in golf
Why are good golf shots
referring to birds?
Referring, not regurgitating.
Regurgitating.
Referring to birds. Why are so many bird references? In the 19th century American slang, bird referred to anyone or anything excellent or wonderful.
Oh, really?
By analogy with birdie, the term eagle soon therefore became common to refer to a score one better than a bird.
Really?
So birdie's good, eagle's a little better.
Well,
albatross is bigger.
have you ever heard the people? Well, a little birdie told me that story.
Right?
Or like Rockin' Robin.
Yeah. Ooh,
There's
Robin,
got to
Robin.
be there's to be something to all this reference.
Robin.
I don't know. We gotta, Bye. Even Peter Griffin had it figured out.
Do you know about the bird? Everybody knows that the bird is a word.
His voice of Peter Griffin here.
You know what doesn't happen, and this is never going to be a bird shot, but an air shot.
Air shot? Oh, yeah.
Tell the guys about an air shot.
An air shot is, you've seen it before. You go up there and you're taking a couple practice swings, and you address the ball, and you take a practice swing again. I mean, you totally miss the ball, and you look around because you don't know if anybody. It's like Clark Griswold when he goes up and he's putting the lights on up on by the gutters, and then all of a sudden his ladder falls down, and he looks around like.
See if anybody saw that.
And then he looks around like, that's supposed to happen. I'm supposed to.
You're
It's
hoping
kinda like-
nobody saw you address the ball and they still think it was just a practice shot.
swing. But it ends up being you just totally whiff on it, and it's an air shot, and then you, thankfully, really, it doesn't count against you. So
Right? Yeah, you didn't
just
make
look like a
contact with the
fool.
ball.
Yeah.
You know what else is an air shot? Kind of.
Kind of.
Number 3, in Amelia Earhart. PJ, tell the people about sweet old Amelia Earhart.
It's when you hit that ball and takes flight.
It looks so good.
And then it just disappears. We don't know where she went.
You literally hit it and you're like, all right, that's gonna be the middle of the fairway. She's gonna land over there, and then you get up to it and you're like,
so either somebody played your ball before you got there, or it just like went into something that was like
the abyss.
Abyss
Disappeared.
Yeah, just the abyss, like Amelia Earhart did. We don't know where she went.
Rest in peace,
Rest in
sweet
peace,
Amelia.
R.I.P.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah.
You know what? She didn't even have a chance to do,
What?
and this makes me so sad.
Makes you sad?
Amelia Earhart never had the chance for number 4 today, which is Botox. She didn't have the chance to get Botox.
Well, so when you put Botox in, and I know some people that do Botox. I don't, but you can kind of fluff things.
He Botoxes his balls.
Yeah, I do that. That does hurt, but it's worth the pain. But you Botox your face, things become more voluptuous. Well, if it becomes too voluptuous, then it's just too much lip, and then you're putting you can't even lip in. You lip out.
You lip out every. time.
Yep.
You got too big of lips.
Too much lip.
Too much lip. So
Yeah.
your putt, instead of going in the hole, lips out.
That's called a Botox. So if you ever had that happen before, you might want to lay off the injections and just kind of be comfortable with your own looks.
Go a little all natural.
Yep. That's
You
the
know
way-
who is all natural? And it doesn't even matter. You know who's all natural? It's number 5 this week, which is Danny DeVito.
Oh, Danny DeVito.
PJ, tell the people about Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito, I'm sure he wishes he could have a little bit of Miracle Grow mixed in with his cocktail, but he's a short little guy and a very good actor, but very short. So when you have that little 5-foot putt, that's a Danny DeVito, because it's like, okay, if he laid down, that's how far you are away.
That's how far you're. It's a little bit more than a knee knocker.
Yeah.
But not enough to be like, oh, that's a lengthy putt.
Yeah.
It's just kind of a short, little,
Danny DeVito.
stocky putt.
Yeah, you got a DeVito up there. It's okay.
That's a little DeVito.
Yeah, yep. And then usually you should put those in, unless there's a lot of break. But
See, if you get a curvy DeVito,
what is that then?
well, if you get like
Is that his sister?
a DeVito, Miss Curvy DeVito, it's his sister or his mom,
She's kind of more
probably.
curvy.
Got some more, a little more voluptuous
Yeah.
DeVito.
She's got Botox.
If you you got a Botox DeVito putt,
Then you really
you're
have
talking
problems.
like a 5-foot putt, but
That lips out.
It lips
Yeah.
out, but you got some break to that putt.
You got some hips that you have to work around.
You got to work around them hips, and then it pops out
And the
because
hips don't lie.
Miss DeVito did too much injections.
So they all connect them. They all connect.
They all
you can
connect.
use
They
all
did
5
connect.
of these at the same hole.
Right?
Yep.
And they're all pretty typical to the everyday public course golf.
Exactly. But
Like
please don't take our Egret. We got to copyright that. We're gonna make, I think, some hats or something that's got an Egret on it, just the Egret bird.
We're gonna have some
Yeah.
egret peppered
Yeah.
into
What we
here,
do.
so that's a big. I feel like that's something we've talked about a lot. It was a big. I don't know. That was, in my
It was
opinion,
wild.
that was an awesome.
It was
an
wild.
awesome thing to have
You
happen.
you never will ever remember or forget that happened. It's almost like when people get holes in ones.
Right? Like you just kind of remember, and especially to have like.
Wish I never have gotten a hole in one. You haven't either.
Me neither.
Yeah.
You know who has though, and
That's what
we're
I
gonna
was
talk
say.
about
Yeah,
it
we're going to talk about him later.
after.
Kind of the hero of public course golf.
Right?
Almost call him that.
Mr. PGA himself, Mr. Michael Block.
PCG himself.
Mr. PCG himself, Michael Block. We're
Yeah.
going to talk about him shortly after we now hear from today's sponsor, which is Wedgwood Cove. Wedgwood's an 18-hole championship-style golf course located here in South Central Minnesota. They got a full pro shop. They got a heck of a bar with a banquet room, full restaurant, casual side and formal side, simulator downstairs, and then, of course, we got a nice driving range outside. Head to wedgwoodcove.com to make your reservation, and be sure to tell them that Peej and Mikey sent you. Now back to the podcast. All right, welcome back from hearing about Wedgwood Cove. I have to imagine from hearing all these ads, you have to be intrigued with playing Wedgwood Cove, right?
Oh, gosh.
And if you have, please drop that in the comments down below. If you have played Wedgwood, here's one. If you've played Wedgwood, drop your favorite hole from
Yep.
Wedgwood Cove in the comments down below.
And when you put together a pretty good round, you feel like you could be, maybe the guy that kind of is the public course golf king right now,
Right.
Michael Block.
Mr. Michael Block, the story of the weekend.
He stole your name. Well, you stole his. He's 46.
Yeah, he's older than me.
Yeah, but it's a good way to be named. Your parents named him after him. I
They
know.
knew he was
Yeah.
as a 11-year-old. He was a heck of a guy that they
Yeah, I
named
just
after.
knew. He's like that 11-year-old is going to be
That
something.
guy. That guy's gonna be something special.
Yeah.
And I have to say, that dude was the talk of the PGA this weekend.
As you should be, because we talk about guys for public course golf especially. He is he's a pro at a public course golf course.
Not a private club.
No,
Not a
private.
country club.
Yeah.
A public golf course.
Yes.
He is the golf pro.
Yeah.
He played the PGA this weekend. He took 15th this weekend.
Which allows him to get to play again.
He got invited personally from the tournament organizer for next weekend in
Yeah.
Texas. He made $288,000 in 15th place, which was equivalent of like 175 of the golf lessons.
That he gives for 150 or 175, whatever it is,
Yeah.
an hour or whatever it is.
So the
Yeah.
150 or 175 golf lessons that he does at his public golf course, he made in 4 days' time, and he was the absolute talk of the tournament.
And it's just so cool to see somebody who's kind of just a regular guy. I mean, obviously he plays better than the average person.
I mean, he's technically a PGA pro. I mean, he holds his tour card, so he's better than most guys.
Yeah.
But he works a regular, like, I would say he's more of a talk and more of the word than Koepka, who won it.
Well, he should be, because he just works. He doesn't rely upon, like right now. I mean, that's a big sum of money, but if he didn't win that, his job is based upon how he supports his family and supports himself and his kids, or if he has, I don't know if he has kids. I'm sure he does, but is by his job he has back where he's at
the golf course.
It's not to play these tournaments. And now he's maybe breaking through a little bit, and his wife is just like somebody who's like, they were interviewing her. She was just like, I'm just so glad he's doing this. It all comes from a spot of humble, like, I'm so thankful, gratitude spot, rather than what Koepka brings is like, yeah, I want to get as many of these as I can.
It's for me.
It's for me.
Only me.
Yeah. This other guy's like, I'm thankful for my people who come to my course. He even said that in his interview. And his wife is like I said before, she's supportive, but like almost like shocked by it.
Yeah.
And it's not like expected, which is so cool to see, because that's what we try to strive for, and that's what we want to see. It's good sports stories. When we watch the NCAA tournament, Cinderella story. We want the underdog.
Yep.
This guy's the underdog who's hit a hole-in-one, and if he didn't get the hole-in-one, he wouldn't be at 15th.
No.
Which top 15 get re-invited.
That was wild when he hit the hole-in-one. If you guys didn't see it,
and it was
an absolute airmail.
Yes.
Into the hole, and then everybody went nuts. He kind of assumed it went in based on everybody's reaction. But then, did you hear him as he was walking from the tee box?
Yes.
He's like, Rory, did that actually go in? Like, was that an actual hole-in-one? That would have been a cruel joke if everybody was cheering just because it was really close.
But how does that? That cup is not very big.
No, you're talking now more in your cocktail glass.
To me, that's a better hole-in-one than a hole-in-one that bounces. I'm sorry.
I mean, it was a complete airmail.
If you can go straight in the cup and not bounce out, and just boom, bury it, you had that was like a 1 in a million. Like, it's got to be. That's really pretty cool.
It was so cool to see, and his reaction to it. And then when he went up and he kind of peeked and saw it in the hole, and then just stood there for a second, and everybody went nuts.
And it was a genuine reaction. So some golfers who are professional golfers, they kind of almost act smug, like, oh, I know this is supposed to happen.
Right.
This is how I play. Of course I hit a hole-in-one. Of course
I should hit a hole-in-one.
Yeah. And this guy was like a regular guy. Like, so our golf team just had a girl hit a hole-in-one. I didn't get to see her do it, but she was all excited about it. You got to have natural excitement.
Right.
A natural awe and wonder of what just happened.
Right.
He had that. And that's what we can relate to, and that's why people, I think, talk about that more than Koepka.
Yeah, I big time. I mean, he was the absolute story. So he got the call from the Charles Schwab, which is the next tournament in Fort Worth, Texas. He got the call from the tournament organizer after the fact, and they said, "We saw your performance. We saw the highlights. With this, you're cordially invited. We have one more. We have a spot on our exemption card."
So, and actually, I learned that Minnesota has a lot of these tournaments have these exemptions where they can make extra space. It's like they have built-in space for people.
Does it fluctuate? Do you know? Because I have no idea.
Yeah.
Does it fluctuate from tournament? So we'll say like the Charles Schwab is in Fort Worth.
Yeah.
The 3M is up in Blaine.
Yep.
Do they each have like the same amount of exemptions per tournament?
That's a great question. We should probably figure out that, but I would say that I don't think they do. But I know that when I was listening on the radio and stuff, they were saying, well, that Minnesota also has exemptions.
So they must have.
It's possible to have
2 or 3 spots or something.
Yeah, it's like they don't fill it all the way out. They don't fill the card all the way out, based upon what's happening most recently. That's what I think happens.
Okay, that makes sense.
So, for him to get a call like that, and you got to believe that it's also because of his genuineness about it too.
Oh yeah,
and the fact that he's. And something like this, you can't get invited, I don't think, based just upon a number.
No.
It's got to be what you've done as a person and who you've, kind of your story behind it.
And,
yep.
I mean, because he's going to carry that same thing now. People are going to talk about the Charles Schwab.
Yeah.
The same way.
Yeah.
Maybe not to the level of the PGA Championship, but the same type of way. I mean, he was on a call with the tournament organizer. he's like, can you please talk to my boss next week? Because again, he just works at a golf course.
Is this when he got called for this next tournament?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
So they invited him to the Charles Schwab. He was sitting there, and he accepted the invitation, and he said, can you please call my boss and tell them I'm not going to be there next week?
For his work.
Yeah, for his
Think about
work
that. He's
at
worried
the
about
public golf course.
making sure he knows that his boss,
his shift
talk
will be
about
covered.
that. I mean, that is what we want. That is like what regular people do.
Yeah. And
Welcome to the regular world.
Luckily, I'm assuming the club pro would be his boss, probably. Was at, well, no, he's the club pro, right?
So I wonder who that is.
So whoever his boss was with at the tournament. And he's like, actually, you know what? My boss is right here. He said it's fine that I miss work. He's got a glass of tequila in his hand. He's in a pretty good mood. They were celebrating. I mean, that's a huge deal for the everyday public course golfer. I mean, this dude's kind of the poster child for that right there.
Yes.
Well, I don't know. Maybe by the time you get to the end of July when the 3M happens, if you have an exemption, we'll make an exemption. We'll give you an exemption to jump on the podcast. We'll travel to you.
Yep. You
actually,
can be
it would be a pure honor.
You can be in the center right here.
You can be right here. It would be a pure honor to have you because, again, you are the poster child for
public course golf.
Public course golf, which is what our podcast is all about.
And that's what PGA is about. And so, you know, PGA, the winner was Brooks.
They might as well be
Brooks Koepka. Brooks Koepka. Yeah, Brooks Koepka.
Well, let's just go with Brooks Koepka.
Yeah. So he's a great golfer. I'm not going to take that away from him.
You can't deny he's a hell of a golfer.
And there's a lot of people in professional sports that are not role models. They're not. They shouldn't be expected to be, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You can even say Jimmy Butler's one of those people. To the Heat. He does things a different way. Great basketball player.
Amazing basketball player.
So Brooks Koepka wins it. Of course, he's a live golf player, and you know he's standing next to that PGA trophy, and it's all PGA, and he's standing next to it smiling. It's like, you know, all those that whole thing doesn't mean anything to him.
It seems so weird.
Yes.
That the live players get to play, you know, in PGA sanctioned the four major PGA sanctioned events. Because even like the other players that are playing, they might be like the PGA European Tour, but it's still a PGA sanctioned event.
Mm-hmm.
So these guys playing on, I don't know, the rival tour, playing in all these big tournaments, it still seems so weird to me. And maybe they'll figure it out in time. Like Live is still so new; they're only in the second year of their seasons. But it just seems so weird, especially with like Ryder Cup. So, you know, now Brooks qualifies to play in the Ryder Cup.
That's where it comes into play here. So he's played less tournaments because he's part of Live Golf, so he has less tournaments to be a part of. But he's scored well, so it puts him in the point standings for the Ryder Cup. The Ryder Cup is a PGA sanctioned deal.
So literally,
which at this point right now, the person who funds Live Golf and their CEO are suing the PGA. So now he would be competing in the Ryder Cup for something that what he represents is actually suing against. So how does that work?
Backwards.
You're for something that what you're a part of sues against.
It just seems so backwards to me to be able to even have that opportunity and qualify for said event. It just, I don't know. This whole thing is such a mess for look at Rory. He specifically said, I'm not taking any more questions on Live Golf.
No.
It seems like such a cluster F word.
At the end of the day. And unfortunately, I think money is just overpowering, and it takes over people's minds and makes them not be real good people anymore.
Right. Mm-hmm. You know who is good people? Michael Block. So we're going to celebrate Michael Block. You know how Michael Block probably got in the position he was?
Going to the 19th hole.
Which is featuring today White Claw, vodka soda. We're doing a little wild cherry today. It's newer. We're big fans of High Noons. Mm-hmm. The White Claw brought out the vodka sodas, so it's actual vodka instead of the malt liquor. We like these.
A little less carbonation than a High Noon, so whatever you're looking for. Yep.
So it's a good, easy drinker on the summer days. It's a great time to drink these when you're on the putting green. And when you're on the putting green, what's a really good game to play?
Well, if you're not on the real course, you're just on a putting green in your living room with kind of this rug, like you lie like.
Yeah, right.
We can play tic-tac-toe. Let's do it.
Welcome back, guys. So if you guys are regular watchers of the podcast, you know we like to end every episode with a little game of tic-tac-toe. If you're a first-time viewer of the podcast and checking it out, you'll soon find out we like to end every episode with a little game of tic-tac-toe. Just like you would play at home, maybe in the newspaper, you got a book you like to play it in. We like to play it with golf balls and putters. So with that, let's head to this week's episode of Tic-Tac-Toe. Wow, too big of muscles.
Yep.
Ooh, there we go. I'm gonna go horizontal today. Yes.
All right. Going vertical.
Come on. Oh, blocked that one, but it didn't give me anything.
Doesn't matter.
It gives you the middle though. You have that. Feels good.
Stop. Are you kidding me?
All right.
No! Now I have to stop up top.
Oh, I don't know. That's good there. Fuck. Sit down.
Good follow through. Oh my god.
Oh, that's a good putt.
Yes.
Oh my god.
DSX number 3.
The old pink
With the
DSX
With a one-liner.
and the old single line DSX and the orange Callaway.
Like the single horn Vikings jerseys.
Well, for the first time in podcast history, we got a blackout draw on Tic-Tac-Toe. Peej,
A good game.
it was a heck of an episode. 19th hole this week is featuring White Claw vodka soda, wild cherry. White Claw, if you guys want to work together, let us know. We'd love to feature you as the 19th hole.
Yes.
We got some special stuff coming for the 19th hole, which is really exciting to show these guys.
Yes.
We have some big partnerships that we've been made. They trusted the podcast. They like the content. If you guys like the content, hit the thumbs up button. Hit the red subscribe button to not miss next week's episode. And with that, we'll catch you guys next week. Bye.